Once again, usual reminder, if you are watching the VOD, first of all, welcome in, but second of all, just skip ahead about 10 minutes, because we usually just chat for a bit while we wait for viewers to come in. Also, I should probably...
Yeah, we're doing Unified right now. I don't know if you know anything about that, but...
Unified, I have no idea what that means.
It's called Unified Cup. It's a team format being hosted in the Team Unified Pogo Discord server. It's like actually for some sort of cash prize or something. So right now it's called the Odyssey Cup. It's run by No Fun Pain Done.
Oh yeah, yep.
I don't know if you've heard of him, but
I have. He has shoutcasted for a Gym Breaker stream one time.
Yeah, so it's run by him, and currently it's flying, ice, poison, psychic, water, and some other shit is allowed. Some random stuff like Ampharos and some other random stuff. And they banned like steel, electric, fire, or no, that's shadows, I think. Metacham, Toxapex, and Cresselia.
Is it also a one night cup, pardon? Or is it a one night cup? Or
no, it's like a multiple week thing.
Yeah.
And it's a team format, so you have 3 players on your team. And you can't have the same Pokemon on any of the teams. So
sure, that's standard.
Is it?
Yeah, like in team formats, not being able to have the I don't mean like that's like
I didn't know that, but it's my first time doing anything like that where it's like you can't have overlapping Pokemon. So
I know Go Stadium did a thing like that, yeah, where you couldn't share Pokemon. I've seen a whole bunch of team formats where you can't share the same one, like Sosa Flow's Friday Night Fights did it.
Hey, who is that said hi? They're Uncle Beastod.
Yep, and KP Birdman.
KP said hi, Lyle. Okay, hi. Don't know who you are necessarily, but maybe I do. I just don't recognize the name. Welcome in. Anyways, my captain just 3-0'd Magic Mason.
Hey, let's go.
So he's feeling pretty good about that.
Yeah, what regional champ?
Yeah. Well, he made some pretty good plays, but Samurott was a little tricky for Mason's team. He didn't...
Really?
Like, you don't have a grass type in this cup. Like, I'm running a Abomasnow as my grass type.
Yeah.
Because, like, grass isn't allowed typing, right? So
yeah, you
have to run, like, a dual type.
Yeah. So
the big one is, like, Abomasnow. Let me see. What else would be grass, flying? Oh, Jumpluff or something?
Yeah.
Grass poison, so, like, Venusaur or something like that, right? Grass psychic? I don't know. What is that? Celebi?
Yeah.
And grass water is Ludicolo?
Yeah.
So there is some grass typing, but yeah, I think Jumpluff's probably the best one, or something like that. But...
what field is this? Is this
Arcana? We're doing today.
Yeah. I thought you might have been talking about a different meta for this battle, the Magic Mason one.
Yeah, it is. No, it's the unified meta.
Oh, okay.
It's called Odyssey Cup.
Yeah.
It's done by it's a custom meta from No Fun Pain Done.
Yeah.
Server. So.
Cool.
I mean, just thought I'd talk about it briefly before we get started.
Yeah.
The meta is pretty fun. Like I can tell you my team quickly, so you get a sense of what it is. Let's see here. Unified. You can't change movesets either, and you know the opponent's movesets going into the battles.
Oh. Wow.
It's all like listed. So I have a Kanto Grimer, Deoxys, Pelipper, Abomasnow, Scizor, and Swampert.
There's some glassy picks in there. Like, DD's your only bulky Pokemon there, right? Unless, did you mention Jumpluff, or... What was it? Pelipper, Scizor... Was it Pelipper, Scizor... Oh man.
Yeah, because Steel is technically banned in this cup,
Yeah.
but Sizer is one of the Pokemon that's allowed.
Okay.
So, because it's not like really a, it doesn't really play like a typical Steel type, right? So, um,
I mean, it's one of the few steel types that actually utilizes steel moves.
yeah, exactly. Which means that it's not doesn't play like a typical Steel type, because most Steel
Because it's
most
actually
Steel
using
types
steel.
don't use it. Most Steel types don't rely on Steel moves at all. Like they just use the Steel typing to dish out like ground or fighting or rock or whatever, you know?
Yeah. The steel's
So,
great defensively, but not offensively.
yeah, it was pretty good actually for me, the Sizer, like in a couple battles.
And a steel type that dies to everything, yeah.
I mean, it dies to everything while simultaneously not dying to anything, right? Because like it resists, it has a very nice typing, and fire is not that common in this cup, so.
But it's so glassy that even like neutral damage threatens it.
Yeah, it is a non-shadow, but
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I did get like, there's no shadows allowed, so.
Oh, right.
But I did have bit of a trouble with the Pidgeot. The wing attacks were doing a little more than I would have liked in one of the battles. Things like that, right? But I mainly brought it for like anti-grass coverage, like because people have Auroras or like Amora. Those are common, pretty common. So yeah, it is really fun. Like I said, especially when they have like Deoxys. People are running like Deoxys and like Abomasnow and stuff like that. Like it has play against those things, right? So yeah. What's up?
I've already forgotten what the meta was like in fantasy. I've got such a terrible short-term memory.
Fantasy was Registeel,
yeah,
Galarian Weezing, Tapu Fini, and Giratina.
Right. So yeah, Sizer would have been real good.
Sizer was decent. The problem is it doesn't really beat Registeel at all, and it also can struggle with Tapu Fini since the water gun pressure. But it's not bad. Yeah, it's mainly there for Giratina.
I mean, you had to shield an Iron Head against the Tapu Fini.
That's why people ended up using. I think the more popular pick was Berserker if you had it.
Yeah.
Because you have the Shadow Claw, and you also have close combat, so like you can actually like hit back at the other steel types, specifically like Registeel. And then a lot of people started running Iron Head instead of Foul Play because you already had Shadow Claws for Giratina.
Yeah.
And you need the Iron Head for Tapu Fini and also Galarian Weezing. So
yes. Yeah, that was a good pick. My Tapu, Gira, and Lucario team, I actually really liked that in the end. Like that did really well. You had to switching into the origin rather than the altered was a really good move because Lucario does so much better work when shields are down, like especially against a Giratina in the back. Like you got to be able to land that Shadow Ball.
Right, or bait. But it's always risky baiting a power-up punch on a ghost type that's not bulky.
Totally. It like...
They're like, I survived this, I don't have to shield, and then it's a pop, and they're like, okay, well, I'll shield the next one. Then you bait again, and maybe they're like, oh, I don't even need this Pokemon. Yeah, have you been playing any of the Color Cup?
Yeah. Just, it's been Trevenant, Toxapex, and then pick your third.
Remember what we were talking about on the podcast, or not the podcast, the show last week, and one of my spicier picks that we were talking about turning to be like very meta, like one I think actually the best Pokemon in the cup.
Was it Shadow Zap?
That was Kingdra.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Kingdra ended up being.
And we were talking about how you can basically 2-shield through almost anything for Switch, right? I've even flipped Ferrothorn with Kingdra before.
Wow, really?
Because they get greedy because they get comfortable, right?
Yeah.
And they tried to bullet seed me down, and I got to a I got to an outrage, and like just did like it does like 30, 35, for almost 40% to them because outrage is just big damage from stab, right? And like they just don't know, right? So I flipped that like one other time. I think it depends on their IVs too, because one other time I had a Fairthorn live with like 1 HP. Also today I threw Octozuka like 15 times and I think I got 1 debuff. So I think there's something wrong with that currently.
Game's broken. Then this is regular Kingdra, right?
Yeah, so the team that I've been using right now, I actually hit veteran on my dog's account, as they say, today. And I'm almost there on my main account, which is Shadow Kanto Ninetales lead, and Kingdra safe swap with Jellicent as my third. So
okay. I've seen a very similar team making the rounds in Pallet Town, which is Kanto Ninetales, Jellicent, and Swampert. And I like yours a lot better because, like, what do you do against a lantern? Like, if you're running...
Mine is really... Actually, Lantern's a bit of a core breaker.
Yeah.
But, the thing is, though, number one, Lantern is not very common in this cup, which is good. Yeah. Because, like, I think you prefer water types with coverage moves in this cup. So, like, Lantern's very specified. Like, if it gets on another water type, you're good. If you get on, like, a grass type, you have nothing, right?
Yeah.
So, whereas Jellicent, you can Shadow Ball like a Fairthorn, right?
Yeah.
So... I mean, there's going to be weaknesses with every team, right?
Yeah, of course.
It's been working well. I am running Psyshock on the Ninetales as well.
Yeah, that was my problem. When I tried running the Ninetales team, I was running Solar Beam because I forgot that it knows Psyshock, and I just never landed a Solar Beam ever.
You still lose the Toxapex matchup, but Psyshock has been very helpful against even like a Jellicent or like a Lowland Marowak specifically as well. Things like that, where you just need like you don't want to hit it with like an overheat and debuff yourself. You just need a little bit more damage to like KO, and like Psyshock does like almost 40% to Toxapex.
Yeah.
So like they sometimes shield there because they know what it's coming, and then the great thing about Jellicent is like if it's like a Trev lead and they swap Toxapex, I will like farm to a Weather Ball and then swap to Jellicent because like it doesn't matter if they get like 6 poison jabs.
No,
they're not going to flip that matchup anyways, right? So and then I have energy for later on my K9 as well. So yeah,
all right,
going pretty well.
So should we get into it? Arcana field.
Let's do it. Arcana. It is revolving around 2 Pokemon.
Is it?
That is my initial assessment, yes.
That's good to know.
So one thing you will notice about this cup is there is certain bans, one of them being very important in the meta. Actually, 2 of them. Now. So you will see why the #1 Pokemon is the #1 of Pokemon when we look at the bans.
So the bands are Basti, Probopass, Regirock, Trevenant, Sableye.
Can you put it up so I don't know, we can't see it on your screen.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Yeah, no, there it is. Right there.
Oh, it's not a graphic. Okay.
Is there a graphic for this?
There should be. I don't know.
It's not under their resources.
And a Silph.
Might have to look in their Discord or something.
That's weird. Okay, yeah, just keep going. I'll take a look and see if I can find it.
Cool. So the bands are Electric, Fairy, Ice, Normal, Basti, Probo, Regirock, Trevenant, Sableye, Galarian, Articuno, and Tropius.
Okay,
so no electric types. Right. There we go.
So what you will notice here is, what you will notice here is that There is no electric types, and there's also no normal types.
How does that matter for Pelipper?
It's so that, in my opinion, the two best Pokemon and the best pair in this meta is Pelipper and Cofagrigus.
Okay.
So dark types. Okay, still unfortunate for Cofagrigus, but everybody knows that Shadow Ball is just an insane move.
Yeah.
And a lot of the dark types are glassy, so
sure.
Shadow Ball does quite a bit of damage still.
So what dark types
and
are there? I mean, there's Shiftry.
Shiftry is the best one.
Yeah, easily the best.
But the thing is, as you remember, like 2 Shadow Balls will still KO a Shiftry. So if you ever like get a little bit of energy, it's not the end of the world. And single resisted Shadow Claws is much better than double resisted against like a normal type, right?
Yeah.
Oh, welcome in, Chumpaletta. So there are other ghost types in the meta, specifically like Runerigus, Gengar, and stuff. But the one benefit of Cofagrigus is just the bulk, right?
And this is a pretty good score against Malamar as well.
Yeah, Malamar has the psychic subtyping, right? So it's only taking neutral damage. Yeah, Coffin is really good. I think it's the best coverage Pokemon because it does well against the things that that Pelipper does poorly against. But specifically, I think Pelipper is the best for sure. It's ranked number 1, and in the practice battles I've been doing, it seems almost unstoppable. So. And shadows are allowed in this meta. Keep that in mind. I think they added Honchkrow, or is it eligible? Let's see here. No. The ones that they added were for Pelipper is one of the ones they added, which is very interesting to me. They did add Honchkrow, and they added Gyarados, Vespiquen, and Scizor. The last 2 are kind of strange to me, Vespiquen and Scizor. I'm not quite sure about those. Like, I don't get it.
Not Scizor, Scyther.
That's what I meant, Scyther.
Yeah, that's even weirder.
It's a weird one. It has Fury Cutter, which you'd probably want to run. It does have Air Slash, but like I don't know.
It's also got Aerial Ace and Exeter and Night Slash. I think I've got a good ranking.
But it is a bug type, right? So it's gonna lose to Pelipper. And even with Night Slash, I bet you it still doesn't even do that well against like some of the ghosts, just because of how glassy it is.
Vespiquen has Power Gem, so that's got the ability to hit a Pelipper, but like the speed of the weather balls from the Pelipper, that's got to just completely outgun.
So they have Honchkrow ranked number 7 and number 15.
Yeah.
I don't know about that, in my opinion. You think it's a little sus?
Oh, look, it would... Yeah, I mean, it loses to the Pelipper, but it would also do very well against Cofagrigus and Shiftry, which...
Honchkrow, it says here, Honchkrow loses to Jumpluff.
Yeah, that's bad.
The normal is worse. It's running Dark Pulse Skytick. I'm assuming if you ran Brave Bird, you would definitely beat Jumpluff. It's like, look at its score. It's got a 565 score over Mew. The Shadow loses to Mew.
Yeah.
Hello? Like, I don't know. This thing sounds horrible. Like, basically the only thing it can beat is Ghost. It's losing to Gengar. The Shadow. The regular is beating Gengar. I don't know, man. This thing, I don't know why they keep adding Honchkrow to metas. It seems good, I guess, but I don't think it's actually that good. Like a Pelipper with 2 shields can basically just wing attack it down.
Credilli, that's interesting. And Gyarados, actually. Gyarados would be good against the Pelipper. It would do all the same things as Pelipper, but also beat Pelipper.
Well, I wouldn't say do the same things as Pelipper because of wing attack, right? Versus Dragon Breath.
Yeah, you're right.
Being that much quicker. But for sure, having it kind of can sort of break the Coffin Pelipper core in a way.
Mm.
But honestly, I don't even think that it's that bad for Pelipper if you just go even straight Weather Ball against it.
In this sim, it's going straight Hurricane, and that's getting shielded. So what if you want me to like take out Hurricane, see how it does there?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you've only got 11 HP left at the end of that. You do win as the Gyarados, but not by
Okay,
much.
so yeah, so you're not going to take out more than one Pokemon. If let's say if you're ABA weak to Gyarados, you just stay in and fire off a couple Weather Balls, and if they
Yeah.
want to double shield, that's fine, right?
And then, like, sure, your Pelipper goes down, but then you can easily farm down after that, get a nice little chunk of energy.
Yeah, I don't know. That's Shadow Gyarados. Maybe regular is better, but
Well,
against it,
according to the team builder, regular Gyarados doesn't beat both Pokemon, so I imagine it's losing to the Pelipper.
okay, I think we have a Honchkrow supporter here. Let's see. It grabs shields against a lot of the meta and wins CMP against everything. Definitely catch up on his off guard. Yeah, I don't know. Like, Honchkrow is also in Ember, right? And like, when did you ever see anyone using Honchkrow in Ember? Okay, of course you did, Lily Bear. I'm not. Of course, you can probably bring it. I don't know.
Actually, so I'm looking at safe switches. Honchkrow does not seem to be very high.
So you definitely want a dark type on your team, 100%, because or if you don't have a dark type, you're gonna get kind of overrun by the ghosts, I think, right? If you want to do a Honchkrow, then I guess that's it's not the worst pick for sure. It definitely has play, but
the Shadow Honch here rated 99 as a charger, which means if it does have an energy lead, suddenly it's like Callie Dad said, it's pretty darn good. Look at that. It's getting close to beating Tyrant. Getting close to beating Credilli. It kicks Malamars and Shifty's ass as you'd expect. It beats the Pelipper with an energy lead. So how much energy lead is it giving it here? That's 2 Snarls. You're getting to a second Sky Attack to KO. Sky Attack doing 72%.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you give it 2 Snarls of energy, it beats it to the second Weather Ball.
Does it beat it to the third Weather Ball?
So if it goes to the 2 shields, looks like it. Why is that hurricaning? That's weird.
Maybe it's not going to get to another move or something.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it doesn't get to the...
Okay. I mean, it's interesting. I don't know. I still think Shiftry is better. But if you Weather Ball, you lose by 1 turn.
Yeah. So it says 1 turn of difference.
Like, how much Weather Balling? How much does a Weather Ball do to
like
Honchkrow?
64%.
Oof. And the wing attacks probably do like 5% or something.
6.
Yeah, like it's gonna be like I'm not arguing that it definitely possibly has play in the meta, but I don't think it's gonna be easy to utilize.
Yeah, it'll be difficult.
If you get it in the right spot, sure, it can cut through teams. But I also think there's gonna be quite a bit of fast move pressure in the meta too.
Okay, yeah, that's a good point. Which that's Honchkrow's biggest weakness is lack of fast move pressure. Also, hi Dylan, welcome in.
Yeah, like so things with fast move pressure are like some of the dragons in the meta, and also like some of the rock throwers and stuff like that, like Tyrant. There, I think looks very solid. as well. Shadow Aggron, yeah, you can run Shadow Aggron.
Why Copper over Gengar?
I think it's just a bulk. You can like it can just do things that Gengar can't do sometimes, right?
Sure,
like
sure.
specifically, like not saying Gengar is not bad. Like I battled someone that had a Haunter actually. I think Haunter might be actually better than Gengar because you have more flexible moveset. You have Shadow Punch, you have Shadow Ball, but you also have Ice Punch.
Ice Punch, which can hit with Shiftry.
Yeah, right, and you also have things like that. Yeah, I think Haunter is better, but it's still again like actually I
Oh, you can't compare Sludge Bomb to Ice Punch though. Well, the Sludge Bomb will one shot, whereas the Ice Punch, I imagine, a
think
Shiftry
Haunter
will
has
be...
Sludge Bomb too, though.
It does, yeah.
So like that's the thing. It's like, what's the benefit of running Gengar? Aren't they pretty much the same? I guess Gengar technically is slightly bulkier-ish.
I believe so.
Very
1433. This is 1379. 1379 is ridiculous.
I don't think there's much of a difference, to be honest with you, but I still like Coffin the best. I know it doesn't have a coverage move, but it's just like whenever you're in these condensed metas and you can add a Pokemon that can like tank a move from something.
That does make
you.
a
Have a good
difference.
one.
Thanks, Callie Dad.
I feel like you can, you know what I'm saying? Like it's always nice to have that extra bulk on your team. Because like let's go here and search by bulk, so we can go bulky. You can see basically like these are the two bulky ghosts.
Yeah.
And the problem with Rune is it struggles with Pelipper.
Yeah.
Because of the ground subtyping.
Yeah.
Also, Shiftry doesn't have to throw Foul Play; it can just throw Leaf Blade, which makes it even worse. But it does beat Coffin because of the baiting potential.
Yeah.
The Sand Tomb is nice.
And there's really not too many ways to make up bulk. Like, if you were to go Haunter, then you'd want to try and make up your bulk with the rest of your team. But there's really not that many options that I can see here.
Like, it's showing here, like, what's bulky. I don't know, Jellicent does seem interesting. But, I don't know, like, the fact that it's also a water type makes it a little more scary. But it is better against Pelipper, even though it says here that it still loses. Because it just Hex is worse, I think, right? Basically. Shadow Claw is just better.
Yeah.
Medicham is eligible for this cup, FYI.
Rune beats Pelly with a ST bait.
Not according to this. Oh, it is beating Pelipper, but
Sean wants to know who's the bold guy.
That's me, and my name is right there. Thank you so much. Yeah, so if you take baiting off, it wins. You can also just like play with the Zero Shield. So Pelipper barely survives the Shadow Ball and gets the 2 Weather Balls. It's very close. But like what I find in matchups like this is if you bait. Okay, let's say if you bait and then the second one you throw the Shadow Ball, right? Most likely what the opponent's just gonna do is just farm up extra energy.
Yeah.
And they'll throw somewhere like here, and then maybe you get shield advantage, but then they're gonna get off another Weather Ball against something else in the back, right? And they take switch.
But go back to just there was one that was straight Sand Tomb, and like.
Oh, that's the 2 shield. That's kind of disgusting.
Yeah, that is like you get real close there. 9 HP of chip damage, and you win that.
And that's with a hurricane at the end. Technically, I think if you weather ball here, you might simul KO. Because weather ball does 51 damage. Impact does 3.
You're starting to get a lot of crap in the chat.
Why?
People don't trust you.
Shauna Billing? What is he saying?
Sean and Blob.
These bozos.
And Lilybear. All having a go at you, Lyle.
Lily Bear, it's fine. I don't mind. But those other two, they can zip it.
Whoa, careful with the
Yeah,
language.
this matchup is close, but like you can still see like a weather ball still does 48%, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I still prefer the Koff-Rodriguez matchup. It's more, I think, it's more consistent, right? So you can see though, it can't win the 2 shield, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is something, but you do win the 1 shield. 61 damage, 57. You do need a bait as well.
Yeah, like I mean, there are other reasons that I wouldn't run Rune Rodriguez, but like seeing that sim against the Pelipper, I think is very encouraging. Like that would not be enough to stop me from bringing Rune Rodriguez.
All it takes is the Pelipper to get a little bit of an energy lead, right?
Oh yeah, but also on the other side, all it takes is for Pelipper to get a bit of chip damage, to get a bit of chip on the Pelipper.
Let me see here the difference between these two ghosts. That's the only problem I have with Rune, is it is a bit of a sim
Hero.
because of the baiting potential.
Yeah.
Like Koff-Rodriguez bait is like a Dark Pulse, which
Yeah.
is still a pretty decent move. What is this, Arcana? Okay, let's see here. So you pick up some of the grass types, and you lose to some of the other ghosts because of baiting, basically. Other than that, I would say they're pretty similar. Rune actually sims better. But this is also rank 1. So I'm going to put Rune to a default sim, and then I'm going to leave Coffin as the rank 1. Because
Why?
Because Rune has only ever been available in eggs and hatches. So I feel like people are unlikely to have a rank 1, whereas Coffin has been around in the wild for multiple years.
I just
So I
feel
think
like
it's
you're
more-
trying real hard to make a point.
No, what? That's more realistic. I mean, I
Rune
don't think it
still does
affects
better.
anything. I just want to see. Let's see any matchups. Yeah, actually.
Or do you want to sim both the rank 1 and the default next to each other?
I don't think there's a big difference, but I can, sure.
Hey, Hayden.
Score is actually a little better for the other one.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Average
here.
goes up by a point. Thank you for the shout out, Lilybear.
Yeah, the better Tyrant matchup is interesting. I do actually, the more I'm looking at it, I think you could probably go either way, Rune or Coffin. I don't know why, I just prefer Coffin.
Yeah, no, I actually prefer the Coffin too. I'm just I'm
Like you have a
jumping
better
in
AWAC
Rune's
matchup.
corner.
Again, it's baiting. Like let's turn off baiting just to see it.
Also, what are we talking? Come on, Sean. Read the title.
So you can see here, if I turn off baiting, the Koff-Rodriguez is much more consistent, right?
Yes. Yeah.
But with baiting, the Rune seems to be much better. Let's check the 2s.
Bait
Yeah,
dependent is not a bad thing. Bait dependent just
No,
means
it's not a bad thing.
It just means like it's got an advantage and a disadvantage of like the advantage being it can have a little more play against things that would typically counter it, but the disadvantage is that if the baiting doesn't go right, then you suddenly lose things you probably shouldn't lose.
Yeah, it's like way better in the 2s, and that's because of the clunkiness of the Shadow Ball Dark Pulse, right?
Right.
The 0s, it's pretty similar for everything. Seems like this one is better, the default one. I'm not sure exactly why. What is it picking up?
If you click on like bulk and breakpoints, it'll tell you what differences there are in the differences panel.
I don't think it's bulk points. I think it's just
I mean, you do seem to be losing a lot of bulk points.
I think it's just because of the higher attack. Let's say against Lurantis, like a high rank Lurantis, the Shadow Ball plus Shadow Claws, like Shadow Ball does 77 damage here, whereas if we look at the rank 1 rune, Shadow Ball is doing 75 damage, which is allowing them to get to another Leaf Blade. That's a rank 1 though, so I'm assuming it's probably pretty similar, right? Oh no, this is not a rank 1. That's a... Why is this not on rank 1? Okay, it's not that different then. This is probably CMP thing.
Yeah, it would have to be. Oh, what was I gonna look up just then? Oh yeah, Ferrothorn versus Coppergregus. Because I'm interested to know like some of the more neutral matchups.
Ferrothorn isn't on here, which is interesting. I think it looks okay in this cup for sure, especially with Thunder. You're like a grass type that can fight back against Pelipper, right?
Yeah.
So that's one here. This is the 0 shield. So let's check the 1 shield. So that's a big win for Coffin there. Whereas the other 2 don't do nearly as well.
Sure.
And actually, when I was doing the practice tournament, one of the Pokemon that was giving me a lot of trouble was actually Ferrothorn. And I brought Coffin quite a bit to deal with it.
So you can win the 0 shields as the Ferrothorn against Coppergregus, but you don't win any of the other even shields. So you'd probably... the aim there would just be to kind of come out of that with a shield advantage.
Basically. Or catch a move. But it's always tricky to catch when they have a 3-turn versus 2-turn, right?
Yeah, totally.
When you're the 3-turn, like when you're the 2-turn, you just like pause. You do 1 Shadow Claw, you pause a second, and then you can catch, right? And they think like the game's lagging or something. But if you're the 3-turn and they're the 2-turn, it's like very tricky to catch. Like you have to like either hope they throw an alignment, number 1, or just like wait like 2 turns and don't do anything, right? Yeah. Like it's very tricky.
So Mew, recommending Surf Wild Charge. Obviously
Mew is always good because of the versatility, right?
There seems to be a lot of grass type potential here. Would you run like a Flame Charge, Wild Charge moveset?
You could run that. You could run Flame Charge, Wild Charge. You could run Dragon Claw if you wanted to for some low energy. I think Surf is just nice in general, but it's like a pretty good move.
Dragon Claw would be good against the Tyrant here. So it's Surf would be okay because it's like not a bulky Pokemon.
I mean, a lot of these moves are kind of crap, so I would say like out of its moveset, things you could possibly run, like if you wanted to not run Wild Charge, you could. The thing is, Wild Charge one-shots like Pelipper, right?
Yeah,
so I think you kind of want, but you could always also run like something like Volt Switch.
Yeah, that'd be really solid against the Pelipper. But then like you're probably really giving up that that Coppergregus or other ghosts.
Mm-hmm.
Like
And it
how
hurts you against the dragon as well,
the dragon,
and
yeah.
the grass types. So probably mostly want Shadow Claw, but also does no Poison Jab, keep in mind, or Dragon Tail if you want to get pretty crazy. It has some options for sure. I would say Dragon Tail, Poison Jab, Volt Switch, or Shadow Claw are probably the four best. And you're probably looking at Wild Charge as like a locked in, unless the thing about factions is you can change your moveset, but it's one of those things where you don't want to be TMing your Mew every week because that's like annoying, right? So like, sure, maybe if your opponent doesn't have a Pelipper for some reason, you could run like, I don't know, Rock Slide or Ice Beam, depending on the flying type they have. Maybe they have a Jump Bluff as their flyer, so maybe you want Ice Beam, right? But yeah, I would say
Yeah, you need a ton of TMs.
Yeah.
How
to microwave? What are we cooking? We are just cooking up Arcana stuff. That's basically it. We're just going over some of the meta, seeing what's up.
Putting
I think
the
Mew's
Arcana
always a
meta on
solid
defrost. I like the look of Tyrant, specifically because it can beat the Pelipper Coppergregus.
Yep.
And it's also beating Shiftry, so like those big three that we're talking about.
The main thing that like pissed me off was Fairthorn, but even then, like it was kind of close because you have the
Tyrant,
dragon.
or...
Yeah, the Tyrant.
Yeah, right.
Because you have the dragon subtyping with the rock. Why is it's saying 411 versus Metacham? That seems kind of crazy to me. It's really bad in the 2 shield. But you can win the 1-0 versus Metacham, which is interesting.
That's crazy.
I don't think Metacham's gonna be that popular.
No.
But whenever it's eligible, I think it's definitely a decent pick, right? But you can see the top ones like Pelipper,
yeah, they all count
Gengar, Mew, even Honchkrow is actually not that good. A lot of ghosts, a lot of flyers.
Yeah.
I know you do
Bugs.
have Shiftry, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like bringing Metacham just opens you up to more RPS as opposed to like Mew being a Psychic type, but you could run, like you said, Flame Charge or something to hit back against the Shiftry, right? Or Poison Jab even, if you want to get crazy. So
there's how many like hard counters are there to Shiftry?
it's basically the flying types.
Yeah, Vespa
Like,
Queen's a big one. And Metacham.
Vespa Queen is like
Cargo.
Dude, oh god. It's got a 95 battle rating. Jumpluff's pretty good against it. Metacham, Lurantis, Honchkrow apparently, Victini beats it. Crustle, especially if you're running Fury Cutter. Tyrant beats it, according to this. Pelipper as well.
Credilli is probably my favorite one that I'm looking at. I think Credilli's got the most neutral play against the meta in general. I'd probably consider bringing Credilli on my team.
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why I don't like Credilli.
Because you're wrong.
It's nothing against the Pokemon itself. It's just it always feels so awkward. Like it says here it beats Pelipper, but like that's always like a really annoying matchup for me as a Credilli, I find.
I think a lot of the key with Credilli is there's a lot of situations where Stone Edge would be like the super effective move, but you're fine to just throw Grass Knots because like it'll take the same amount of charge moves whether you throw Stone Edge or Grass Knot.
Yeah, see, like even in the one shield, like if you go straight to Stone Edge, Pelipper will get to a Hurricane. And Hurricane does like half your health.
What happens if you land the Grass Knot? If the Grass Knot goes unshielded?
You can't beat it without the Stone Edge.
You get it very
Grass
low.
Knot only does 50%.
Yeah.
So if you have Stone Edge does 91%.
But again, like chip damage, like you take out just a little bit of its HP, and then suddenly you can just throw straight Grass Knot.
Yep. But if they get a bit of energy, then it's scary because those Hurricanes do like a crap ton. So
with Pelipper, the energy only becomes scary if they can successfully bait you. Like if you shield a Hurricane, then like you're golden. Like it takes it.
But Weather Ball is also neutral, right? So it's not like crazy. But yeah, I mean I do like Credilli. Grass Knot being 50 energy?
Yeah.
Is the only thing that makes it like a little awkward.
Yeah, for sure.
But other than that, it seems okay. I like this pick actually, Superior.
Someone in chat did mention Superior earlier.
Oh, did they?
I forget who it was, yeah. But
because
yeah.
it's a grass type with the ability to beat Pelipper, mainly because of Frenzy Plant, right?
And it beats Shiftry with the area.
Venusaur, it's a little closer with Pelipper because Superior is much bulkier. It's 2063. It doesn't necessarily beat Shiftry, but it does have Aerial Ace, right?
Yeah.
So you can hit back. This is Venusaur beating Shiftry. This is with the Sludge Bomb.
I keep on getting those the wrong way around. I saw that and I'm like, oh, it beats Shiftry. No, it loses.
It beats Mew, it beats Runerigus, but it loses the Coffin barely. It hard beats Rune, like destroys it.
Oh yeah, it would have to.
A Frenzy Plant does 77%. Okay, it actually loses to Rune if you bait again.
The zeros against the Pelipper is interesting because it is managing to survive a Frenzy Plant and get to a Hurricane. So if they want, they can tank that.
It really only wins the ones, which is still not the worst. Like having the double shield, but then again, they're gonna come out with a lot of energy and a lot of health, right? Like if they just shield this, they just farm you down. I think you die with the move. Do you get to another one? Oh, apparently you get to another one. Is this rank 1? Okay, so they do have to throw. It's good to know.
In the 2s, it says it wins, but it is double baiting. So what if you like throw the Hurricane on the second one and it is shielded? Then get to a Frenzy Plant at the same time as they get to a Weather Ball, which does KO. Wow. So
yeah,
in 2 shields you only need to bait once.
But Frenzy Plant does 57%, which is pretty good. Also, this thing also knows Leaf Tornado for any of the degens out there, which is kind of annoying.
So does Shiftry, doesn't it?
Yeah, but Shiftry knows Leaf Blade. Why would you want to?
If you're a degen. All right. So before we keep going, then let's try putting together a team.
Okay.
So we've got the
I can tell you
Pelipper
my
and Copper.
team if you want. All
right. Yeah.
You want me to tell you the team
that
I was using?
Yep.
Something like this I thought was pretty decent. Okay. Pelipper, Cofagrigus, Tyrant.
Oh, you are using Tyrant. Nice.
Yep.
Because I do like the look of that.
I built it for another cup. Jump Bluff and Shift Tree and Superior.
And so, okay, so you're triple grassing.
Triple grass. Because each of the grasses, I think, do kind of different things, right?
Yeah, okay.
And you have pretty good coverage against, like, Pelipper is so safe that, like, it's going to be good in most matchups.
C for bulk.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
which is weird because I have Coffin, Superior, Jump Bluff on the team. You would think it would be, but it's basically just Shift Tree and a Pelipper that are bringing down the bulk.
Well, that's pretty good.
Oh, well, that's good to know, Lily Bear. I'm glad that your Celio did so well for you. Hopefully you didn't run into too many Registeals. What's it saying for top threats?
Tyrant, Jumpluff, Makago, and Bronzong. But you've got 2 answers for each of those. Shadow Leron. Hello. I'm finding the thought of Makago very interesting, because grass seems so safe.
It is pretty safe.
If you can avoid the Pelipper, like, Makago could be a real big core breaker.
Oh, here's the video I asked for earlier today. Yes, no problem. Yeah, the thing about Makago, though, is it takes super effective from, or neutral from grass, number 1. And number 2, if it's running Incinerate, then, like, Pelipper just absolutely destroys it. It's another reason why I like Configrigus as sort of like a flex pick to, like, deal with any of those, like, core breakers for some of the other Pokemon.
So if we look at Makago,
are they recommending Rock Throw there or Incinerate on it?
It went to Incinerate. What about on the?
What was
rankings?
it saying that it was losing in the Sims there?
Just quickly, it's recommending Incinerate in the Sims. Oh yeah, there's Shadow AWAC. If you want a fire Pokemon, there's Shadow AWAC there.
Yeah, we initially liked the idea of fire types, but it's just like with Pelipper being so good and on every single team, it just becomes a little kind of scary.
It does, but like, I keep bringing it up, the idea that there's so many Pokemon that have like double weaknesses or like one super hard counter, but like, it's also quite possible to avoid that. Like, you can.
But when you're that weak to the best Pokemon in the meta,
I just keep bringing it back to
my team is actually
Toxicroak
a little
and
weak to Pelipper.
Twilight.
Sorry, go ahead.
So I was gonna say, I just keep bringing it back to Toxicroak and Twilight. Like, everyone was bringing the Venomoths to counter it.
No one knows what the hell you're talking about, okay? You're a dinosaur, okay? Run it in the lead. Okay, so now I know where it's going to be if I ever battle you. Thank you so much, Lily Bear.
Okay, so...
Yasser always says you run the RPS Pokemon in the back, okay?
Yeah, I agree. We don't want it against Open League, we want it against Arcana. Actually, let's take a look at it with Rock Throw, see what that does against the grasses.
Well, if it has Rock Throw, then things like Shiftry and Superior instantly become way better against it, right?
Well, you are just winning against Shiftry. Why don't they include the shadows? That's dumb.
I don't know. So what about Superior?
It doesn't include Superior here. Yeah, let's go all Pokemon.
Just say all Pokemon.
That's a lot of losses. But that's a lot of grass Pokemon as well. Where are we? Superior. Why don't I just look up Superior?
I saw it there, but it was like 300 or something.
Yeah, you're right. So you do lose with Rock Throw against Superior. Alright, but then what about Shadow Alolan Marowak? 181 wins versus 80 losses. That's pretty darn good. You're obviously losing to all the rocks and waters.
Yeah.
But like, how many? What about Hex?
And you lose to a lot of the other ghosts.
Not with Hex.
You still lose. Does Jellicent beat the other ghosts because it has Hex? Not really. Although Shadow Bone is lower energy.
Is more handy there, yeah. And the bait potential of Bone Club. Although Jellicent has Surf now.
Yo, Surf Jellicent is a menace, dude. Like, I swear to God, like, that thing's so much fun to use. Because now when they no shield the bait, like, he still does like a decent chunk of damage.
Yeah. And yeah, for like ghost matchups, being able to get to the Shadow Bone in 4 hexes rather than the Shadow Ball in 5 makes a huge difference.
Yeah, but also Shadow Claw does a lot more damage than Hex.
Alright, let's check this up. Yeah, it knows Broxler. On the last episode of GoCast that hasn't come out yet, give you a small spoiler. Someone brings up the idea of Rock Smash being a Charm clone.
Jesus.
I'm like, well, Azumarill knows Rock Smash, and so does Registeel. And I just noticed it on AWAC as well.
A fighting, yeah, I don't know. So there's another fighting move that's not in the game right now that I think they could introduce to try to balance some things out. It's called Hammer Arm.
Yeah. And
some of the Reggies know it, and a lot of other things learn it too. I think they could bring it into the problem is they can't buff Rock Smash because of what knows it, right? But they could buff, like, they could bring a second move into the game like they did with Double Kick, right?
Yeah.
To kind of help out some things. Pseudo?
Sure.
Something about Pseudo?
We can look at Pseudo in a second.
Well, as you saw, Lily Bear, I'm running on the one team that I shared. I have 3 grass types, so you can bring your Pseudo if you want.
The Pseudo Shiftry matchup would be pretty close with shields. Chestnut with Hammer Arm. Would you run Smackdown Chestnut?
Well, with counter or with rock throw on your Pseudo?
Lilybear? Oh, well, I mean, for the Shiftry matchup, you need counter.
Rock throw does probably better against... Who's running triple gas? I mean, some people maybe.
Well, that's why I think it might be important to try and fit a fire Pokemon on your team.
Yeah, but you also have I also have Jumpluff does pretty well against a lot of the grass types, right?
Against
which is one of the reasons. Yeah, which is one of the reasons why I really like Jumpluff. Even doesn't do that bad against like Pelipper. They have to bait you to win the one shield.
Go alignment.
Wow. It's like when they interviewed the Fish and Jakobovich.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, I just got to make sure I get good alignment, and I'll win.
And
like,
he did.
Okay, dude. Like,
that's exactly what he did, though. He just called his shot.
Good synopsis, dude. Just RPS opponents.
I mean, I can't talk, because what was my thing? Like, what are you going to do to adjust? I'm like, I just count better.
That too, yeah. I mean, maybe stop getting the Shadow Abomasnow on the freaking Metacham.
Yeah, I know. Like, I'm so annoyed with that, because, like, I knew coming into the first time I faced you, Kovovich, that, like, my Shadow Abomasnow beat 5 of his 6 Pokemon in the 2 shields. And so I led Shadow Obama in the first battle, and he led the Metacham. And since then, I was so scared to lead Abomasnow. That scarred me. Even the one other time I did lead it, I ran into Umbreon, and I panicked and switched it out. I'd forgotten that I win that one.
Thank God that team didn't win a Toronto. or what do you call it? Vancouver.
Why?
There was one. I hate that team.
Which what the
That's-
Jakobovic team, the fully meta team.
Yeah, the top six
Yeah,
team.
yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate that team. No
Malamar is a
offense
core
to
great.
Brown Baller and
Yeah.
Magic Mason, but that team is poopy.
So yeah, Malamar is one that we haven't looked too close into
According
yet.
to Wildcat, Malamar sucks.
Yeah,
And
I did hear that.
it's one of those. Okay, it's one of those Pokemon. Like, do you know how? And you know who? What else has this issue? Is like Dunsparce. It's like if you can't kill the opposing Pokemon in 2 charge moves, it leaves you in like a very awkward spot.
Mm.
You know, because of Psycho Cut.
Mm.
Like what do? You have to throw like a 3rd charge move at like a 10 HP Pokemon because you can't farm it down. Like that's the only issue I've ever had with Malamar. Other than that, I think the typing and the moves are pretty solid. It just can leave you in awkward situations sometimes.
Does a superpower one-shot the Shiftry? Surely it would, right?
Oh yeah, at least I would say so. Yeah,
It would
or
have
very close to it.
80%. Oh, that's actually pretty awkward.
I ran it and did very well, but yeah, its attack set is pretty bad. Is he talking about what?
Let's see, the Malamar,
Malamar?
I'd say. Yeah, because Shiftry's attack stats just fine. So Psycho Cut doing 1.4%, so you're having to throw like quite a lot of Psycho Cuts to try and farm that down. Yeah, so that is pretty awkward.
It's similar to like Honchkrow, where it's like if you get it a bit of energy and you're in the right situation, it can like pop off and just like give somebody nightmares. Because obviously, like a foul play will like one shot like a Haunter or something, right?
Yeah.
But as you saw, the psychic subtyping makes it also susceptible to getting like almost one shot by like shadow balls and stuff like that too, right? So,
yeah. So yeah, real awkward.
I don't know. I think it's good. I don't think it's like meta defining, but I definitely think, like I said, you definitely want to have a dark type, at least one on your team, so that you don't get completely like bulldozed by ghost types. And as you saw, the picks for the darks are a little underwhelming.
Yeah.
So
Shiftry
it seems like most people will have Shiftry.
Reliable one.
Spiritomb seems very interesting as well. The typing, it's like Sableye, right? And the fact that it's doesn't take super effective from dark type thing, and there's no fairies. It seems pretty neutral. Although Sucker Punch is just kind of bad.
Shadow Tyranitar. Look at that, beating Pelipper in the ones.
How much does a Weather Ball do to a Shadow Tyranitar?
All of it. Only 76. Let's go. And the wing attack's doing 3.3%. You can technically live. And I want to see in the lead with shields up. How does T-Tar do? Ranked number 36. Not bad. Lily was like, official spicy nugget. Oh, we can just see Lyle in the background there. What's he doing? He looks like he's talking to his girlfriend. Like, hey, what's your opinion on Shadow Tyranitar? Do you do you like the? I like how it just left without saying anything. But yeah, as a lead, you're still losing to Shiftry. That's a problem. I was hoping you could beat Shiftry with enough. Oh no, that's the one. Hang on, why is it? Best Pokemon with shields in play, capable of running. Yeah, so why does this just automatically go to the one shield? Yeah, 2 shields you win.
Against what?
Against Shiftry.
You're gonna start smacking down.
It's an option. It's legit.
That's why I have so many grass types.
Well, we just saw that the shift tree it beats. I think it beats. It does lose to jump bluff.
Oh god.
Just barely.
It can't two-shield through a jump bluff?
No, again, it's going one shot. No, it can two shield through the jump bluff.
Okay.
Nothing like two shielding your lead. Alright, fine. Let's save your shields for the back then.
There is going to be possibly counter users, right?
Just Metacham and Pseudo.
I think Deoxys is better than Metacham, personally, but...
Oh, there we go. It can't beat Superior on the two shields.
Thank God. Let's smack some shit down. You can't smack down my little homie.
My little friend.
Over here. How about Bullet Seed Shiftery?
Bullet shit?
Bullet Seed. Son of a bitch. Does that change the matchup?
Tyranitar versus Bullet Seed Shiftery?
Yeah.
Oh, that's the ones. Nope, you still win. Because they just don't. They need to get to a charge move. They just don't get to a charge move.
Is there a break point on like Smackdowns or anything?
On Smackdowns?
Like if you have like a really good one?
At least 120 or 132 will get you 18 damage on your Smackdown rather than 17.
So run your max attack Tyranitar, I guess. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, yeah. So if you look here at counter users, basically you have Metacham is apparently the best ranked one. Then you have Deoxys, which I kind of like the moveset potential, like because Deoxys also has Rock Slide, Thunderbolt, and Psycho Boost.
And there's not many ground types around, is there?
Nope. Rune is the only one. So I guess Ice Punch would help there.
You're getting a lot of nice
bulk. But Deoxys
bulk.
would do better against Pelipper than Medi, right?
It would. And it would do better than Pseudo would as well. So I don't mind that. Oh, you have to avoid your ghosts, obviously, but that's Deoxys has got some stuff going on.
Yeah, it's interesting. So if we look at the Smackdowners, we have Crustle, Aggron, Shadow Aggron, Chestnut also is a smacker. As you said here, Shadow Titar. Oh, Cresselia is also in this meta.
Cresselia
as
is
well.
in this meta. Wow.
Yeah, I've seen people using it. It's ranked 70th. They're recommending Moonblast Future Sight.
Future Sight, okay. Yeah, I can see that.
Doesn't have a very good win rate.
Oh, wow. With Crustle and Dwebble.
Like, look at this one shield matchup against Shiftry. It's saying Shiftry is getting to a Leaf Blade, a Foul Play, and a Leaf Blade before you get the 2 Moonblast.
Yeah, that's not good.
Which still doesn't KO with the Psycho Cuts. Psycho Cut is only doing 1 damage at 0.7%. And with this many Psycho Cuts, the Shiftry will still live with like a few HP.
Just use Charm.
Charm what?
Charm Cresselia.
Cresselia? It doesn't have charm, unfortunately.
Oh, okay. What about Rock Smash?
Doesn't have that either.
Really?
Yep. Sorry.
What a terrible Pokemon.
Is there charmers? Let's see. Tyrantrum has charm. There you go. It's like the big
Let's go.
brother of Tyrant.
Mhm.
I think it also has Rock Throw. Yeah, I don't know. Something like this would be really good against. Like Lurantis looks interesting.
Mhm.
Again, like because we were talking about how good the grass types look, right?
Mm.
Which is why I think Jumpluff is really good.
Lurantis would also be very, very good against Shiftry. Like those
Yes,
Fury Cutters are actually doing like respectable damage at that point.
Not even respectable, man. Like it's 706. One Fury Cutter
It does
is doing
3.5. Yeah. You're doing 7% damage a second.
So by the time it gets to the first superpower, the Shiftry is down to 87%.
You could probably, I would say, you could probably just straight Leaf Blade that.
Yeah, they do. In the Zero Shield, the superpower does 90%.
How much does a Leaf Blade do? To, like, from the Lurantis? 35%.
35.
Okay, so... You
50
need to hit it
damage.
twice.
So basically, you... Why are they not throwing the foul play? I don't get it here.
Do they get there?
It's weird. They have them shielding. This is very strange.
I just don't think it
Okay,
gets to the power play.
Let's say you shield the bait because they're throwing two leaf blades. Surely you get to
Yep, Yuri, it's actually going live on YouTube right now, so it'll be there as a VOD automatically.
Yeah, I think interesting pick. It is a little bit only issue with things like this is you don't have much flexibility in certain matchups, right?
Well, I don't know, like the jump luff is really bad for you. Pelipper wouldn't be the worst.
How about Haunter?
Go Ice Punch Haunter? Because I feel like Ice Punch is a must.
You still get hit with a Leaf Blade. The Leaf Blade does about half
Okay.
to Haunter, which is interesting. It is resisted, right?
Yeah.
The poison subtyping.
So half isn't
it's
bad.
definitely a positive matchup for Haunter. But two Leaf Blades do knock it out. So the Fury Cutters are double resisted. They're doing 1 damage, which apparently is 1% to Haunter, since it has about 100. It has about 100 HP. So
Nice.
Pelipper, yeah, Leaf Blade hits really hard, but Lurantis is a little glassy, 1760.
Yeah.
So they're
How
beating
much does a Leaf Blade do to it?
Pardon?
How much does a Leaf Blade do to Pelipper?
Oh, 45%.
45. Okay. So same as Haunter, like you got to land 2 Leaf Blades, which like with Lurantis is not hard to do. It gets to a Leaf Blade in 9
Like 4.5
turns?
seconds?
Yeah,
Or is that 9 seconds or 4.5?
9 turns. So 4.5. Yeah, we said the same thing.
4.5 seconds, right?
Yeah.
Same as Fury Cutter generates energy very fast. So.
Yes. Correct.
And how much is a Hydro Cannon? It's Hydro Cannon is 40 energy.
Yeah. You think
So
about
it's
Samurott?
it's about 5.5 seconds or something like that. Well, 5 and a bit.
Just 5.
Just 5.
Yeah.
It's only one more Fury Cutter, or no?
Yeah, it's only one more Fury Cutter to get to Hydro Cannon over
It's
Leaf
insane,
Blade.
But like Mudshot, if you think about it, does about the same thing, right?
In terms of what? Getting to a
Energy
35 move
generation.
versus a 40 move. Mudshot's like obviously a little better. With the Fury Cutter, it's like we said, it's one more turn to get to a Hydro Cannon over the Leaf Blade. With Mudshot, you'd be getting to the first move at the same time, whether it's 35 or 40 energy. But then... Oh, no, sorry. No, with Mudshot, you'd be getting to a 35 move in 4 Mudshots, and a 40 move in 5, but then the second one would be 4.
So it works out to the same.
Yeah.
Basically.
Well, the Fury Cut is still better, I think. But no, because the Fury Cutter is always 5/5 for a 40 energy move.
I think the main benefit of the Fury Cutter would be that it's one turn.
Yeah.
Samurai, yeah, it's 10 every time to Hydro Cannon. Yep, interesting. I think Lurantis looks good. Ferrothorn looks as well is another very interesting option because as you saw, like even these losing matchups you can do something with, and you do have other moves potentially like Flash Cannon or Mirror Shot or Acid Spray.
Ferrothorn is losing to Shiftry and Lurantis though, isn't it?
Yeah, it does.
But then, like, I don't know how popular Lurantis is going to be. I can, yeah, I'm still thinking about fires. I can picture like ABB fire being a thing.
I don't think there's that many good fires, so it's mainly just Marowak. Victini's here, I guess.
It's got to worry about the ghost, obviously.
Pick. Thank you.
AKA L Stark says hi, La. You're very popular today.
Oh, Alkal Stark? Yeah, what's up, dude? How's it going?
Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah, he's been actually a local of mine, and he's
cool.
in the dojo Discord.
Cool.
For 3-6 Ninja. Or I think that's what is it? Dojo Discord? Yeah.
Welcome to Stark.
We are doing okay. We're just double checking some of these things here. We're looking at some fire types here. Victini is always interesting with the V create. Does big damage to things, and it's a psychic type that can beat Shiftry, and can hit back against some of the ghosts.
For me, I guess the ability to beat Shiftry is probably the only thing that I like about Victini. Because, like, a Marowak, like, you can really threaten a Pelipper if you land a Shadowbone.
Well, they're also not recommending Psychic on Victini. They're recommending Overheat, which is interesting.
I guess you could probably threaten the Pelipper with an Overheat.
COVID-18. It also has Focus Blast if you want to get crazy.
Focus Blast.
Looks pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Pelipper is where here? It's not that bad.
So yeah, it says you get to a V-Create after a Psychic Bait. That's with Quick Attack, right?
Yeah, you do survive a Weather Ball. It only does 55%. but Psychic is 55 energy. It only does 60%. It's not great. I don't know about Victini. I tried to make Victini work a little bit in the color cup, and it didn't go so well for me. I figured like Psychic and Fire coverage would be nice for the Toxic Pex Travcore, but you just end up losing to both them. So
Hisuian Arcanine.
I think Conky was running this in the other meta. This one you need really bad IVs to get it for Great League currently, unless you know somebody that's hatched a low-level eggs. Because currently it's only ever been available in eggs.
Yeah.
So at level 20, you would need like something like let's say like 333. That gets you over. Okay. What about zeros? Nope. Okay, so you need someone that has a hatched an egg that is with a low level account. That is your only way to get this Pokemon into this.
So what about Hisuian Growlithe? Where's that? That's just under it.
Similar moveset, but it doesn't have Wild Charge or Snarl.
Which, I mean, Rock Slide would be fine for the Pelipper.
Yeah, but Wild Charge would one-shot a Pelipper, and you would get one-shot by Weather Ball.
Yeah, you would.
Your Rock Fire type. Weather Ball does 106% damage. Rock Slide does do 84.
And with the Embers, you're covering that.
I mean, you win these ones, but this also requires a level 50.
Yeah.
Like Hundo, so not sure how many people are going to put the investment into that.
So really, it's AWAC and Macargo. They're the two. That's
AWAC, Macargo, and if you want to, maybe Victini. Possibly the Arcanine if you don't mind.
If you're a cheater.
If you know someone that has hatched one. Similar to like the whole Sneasler thing and all that sort of stuff, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
What else is there under Psychic types?
I don't know why Vespiquen's ranked this high. Like it does well against Shiftry and Malamar, but it just seems very a little RPS in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
Definitely is very good bench pressure for things like Shiftry and Malamar and so like that. It's barely beating Jumpluff, but that's like incredible. This is also with Fury Cutter. It also knows Bug Bite, Poison Sting, and Air Slash. It knows a lot of moves. Most of them are bug charge moves, so you definitely probably want to run Power Gem for the coverage, even though it's not the greatest move.
Power Gem is 60 energy. Is that right?
I believe so.
So you are getting to, here we go, you're getting to Power Gem in 15 turns, I believe.
Yes, 15 every time. With Fury Cutter, it's 20 with Bug Bite.
That's alright. It's not bad.
Problem is, X's is not a great move.
Well, I mean, in a grass meta it is.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it definitely destroys most grass types, right? But that's why, again, I keep coming back to this. Seems like Jumpluff can fight back against it, right? Where's my tabs? God damn it, I have so many tabs. Let's see, Drifblim also seemed interesting to me because you have the Icy Wind and you're a flying type, right?
Drifblim was also, it was ranked really highly as, what was it, which, or one of these, like, Drifblim was ranked really highly.
Like, you lose to Shiftry, but it's kind of close. And, like, let's say you get a little bit of energy lead. No, you still lose the 2 shield. But that's them with them baiting you. They might not bait you because it's kind of risky. Because a foul play does 75%, but they do survive, right?
Yeah, look at this. Driplim ranked number 3 as a charger. So if you give it Driplim, if you get it into a situation with an energy lead, Driplim can do some work. Like I imagine it'll be able to, like, then take out all your other ghosts. It'll be able to take out your Shiftry. It'll probably take out your Pelipper.
Mm-hmm.
So I like the thought of Driplim.
It seems decent. Like, the ice coverage is nice. And Ghost seems pretty solid here. Like, you destroy Jump Bluff because it's double super effective. And always debuffing things is nice too, right? Second, just give me.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard the give me a second that time. So this is with 2 hexes of lead. It's still losing to Shiftry, which is unfortunate.
Yep. Yep. Shadow Jump Bluff is eligible, but I think it's just works.
Yeah, Stark, we are liking Tyrant a lot. Lyle's actually got her on his current team.
Even though I'm doing Ultra League, but... Yeah, Shadow Jump Bluff's available, but I think regular is better just because it does better against like Pelipper and some of the ghosts because of a little bit extra bulk. You don't really need the Shadow bonus, I don't think, in this meta. Latios is interesting here. It's a psychic type, right? You wanted to look at psychics?
Yeah.
But I just felt like Tyrant was the better dragon.
I agree.
Than Latios.
Well, I mean, Latios would beat Tyrant specifically.
Does it?
Yeah, surely. Like with the Dragon Breath Dragon Claw. Oh, but yeah, Tyrant's running Dragon Tail Dragon Claw, isn't it?
Dude, it's just like they're just gonna murder each other.
Boo!
Oh, you only win the 0 shield.
You just don't get to another Dragon Claw.
21%. Yeah.
I'm feeling like Malamar's your best psychic, to be honest.
I just gotta go to the bathroom. Give me 1 second. Sorry about this.
Malamar or Deoxys Defense? Oh, well, I mean, why is he covering the camera? Is he going to the bathroom, like, in front of us, or... Is he just going into the lounge room there and taking a whiz behind the TV, or... Deoxys Defense will be really, really good if it can avoid all the ghosts. I'm actually... You know what? I'm thinking... more than just grass. This is a grass and a ghost meta, and then Pelipper. That's basically... I know, Blob, I know. But, like, everything has a hard counter. And, like, the game is so heavily reliant on alignment at the moment. So it's like, yeah, DD's crushed by this one specific subset of the meta, but what isn't crushed by something? I'll tell you what, Pelipper. Although, as a top ranked Pokemon, a score of 94 is actually pretty promising.
Yeah, it's not too bad. It's not like overpowered, but I think it's really good.
There's just a lot of things you can do to overcome a Pelipper. Like a lot of chip damage, a lot of energy leads. Like there's a lot you can do to flip it.
Like Bronzong is here. It's a steel type, right?
It is.
It does have payback, you know. There's that. And you do beat Gengar and like Haunter and stuff like that because of confusions.
The bug moves are neutral against you. You're still
Yeah,
losing
and
to
you do-
Vespiquen, apparently.
Yeah, probably just because it's so slow. And you're doing quite a bit of damage with, or you probably beat a lot of the grass types too.
Yeah,
You don't do very well against Shiftry though,
of course.
as a confusion user.
Or Malama.
Basically any of the dark or psychic types, you're losing to big time. And ghosts. Still lose to Meganium because of Earthquake. You still lose to Lurantis because of Fury Cutter, probably Superpower. But you do beat a lot. Like you beat Tyrant, Pelipper, Jumpluff, Gengar, like Credilli. Beats Credilli really good. Haunter. So if you're not careful with your team comp, if you're doing like a, Pelipper, DD, Jumpluff, whatever, if you're choosing Gengar, Haunter as your ghost type, you might get into a situation where you might be a little weak to Bronzong.
Mm.
Yeah, interesting. Some other interesting picks that I've seen. Chestnut is interesting because you could also run a
Smackdown.
Smackdown,
Yeah.
which I'm not sure it helps you that much, but let's see.
I imagine you'd still lose to Pelly, yeah. Because those wing attacks are just chunking. 8%.
Smackdown does 10%, but it just outpaces you to the moves, right?
Yeah.
Wait, why would they... Oh, is it because they get to,
I have a rank 320 Tyrant. Not bad.
Yeah, mine's around that. It's like 200 something. It depending if you have like what does it look like? Does it require a lot of XLs?
No, it doesn't even have the XL notification here.
It depends on your what is your IVs on yours?
Okay, right.
Because
so...
mine is like mine is not an XL, but it's because
you went with high IVs. So mine's 5,
it's like a
12,
higher.
10.
Which one?
5, 12, 10.
You might be okay with something like that. It might be a little bit of XLs, but not much.
5, 12, 10. Level 40. Let's go.
There you go, yeah. So mine's a 5, 13, 15. The one that I have built. Which is like a rank 263. It's at level 38 and a half.
Let's go.
Yeah, it's not bad. So, other than that, like I think that's basically the main gist. I don't know if there's I don't know what's down here. Archeops, there's some weird picks down here.
Gorgeist.
Arkin? I don't know about that. Destroys Shiftry, but I feel like a Leaf Blade would destroy this thing.
If it gets it off.
Just 84%. So it has Dragon Claw in Wing Attack, which is kind of interesting. But you can see the stat product is 1400. So, it also knows Crunch.
For all the ghosts.
Yeah, I want to see. Not bad. What does it beat? Vespiquen, Venusaur, loses the Tyrant. with Crunch, you can beat like Rune, some of the ghosts, Mew, Marowak, you still beat with Ancient Power. Lurantis, you beat with Crunch apparently. Coffin, you beat. Interesting pick. Could be like a bit of a core break or something. But again, it's incredibly glassy.
Got to make sure you've got plenty of bulk in the rest of your team.
I guess Wing Attack. Anything with Wing Attack is good, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Arcana. Let's see if I have a Great League one. I have one tagged here for Ultra League.
A Sludge Bomb only does 51% from a Venusaur to a Jumpluff.
Yeah, Jumpluff is very tanky.
Yeah, yeah. Because I was just thinking, like, Venusaur's a grass type that can beat other grasses. But it's not convincing. Like, Shiftry can hit back with Foul Plays. Superior can hit back with Aerial Ace. And Jumpluff just laughs.
Yeah, it is interesting. I'm not sure if Venusaur is that good, but it could have play. Let's see here. Don't really know. Like, it's dropping off quite a bit. Once you, what did you say? Once you start getting about 80?
82 is my line.
Okay, so 82 is Dusclops.
Shadow Dusclops.
Although I kind of like this pick too. It's very interesting pick.
The Alolan Executor. I don't like... Oh, actually, that's not doing too badly against Pelipper. I was like, I don't like that it's taking the super effective wing attack damage. But it is double
because it has,
weather balls.
It has Dragon Tail, right? So this is one of those ones that will just, like, you can basically 2-shield through a lot of things. If your opponent doesn't have a steel type. Like, here's its matchup. 474. Not bad. And then if we go with 2 shields.
Oh, far out.
So basically, if you double shield this thing, you're basically only losing to a dragon.
Yeah.
Because you get fast move down, steel types, and like 1 or 2 bugs. Look, it beats Metacham, apparently.
Wow.
Beats Pelipper. You can farm down Pelipper, essentially. I think. Let's see. Yeah, look at it. Doesn't throw a charge move. It just farms it down.
What about the 1 shield with like 2 Dragon Tales of energy?
2 Dragon Tales is quite a bit, but yeah, it's not bad. Like, it's pretty good, I think.
Yeah. I'm digging that.
Yeah, I think some people were saying, because there's not a lot of, like, if you look for ice, like here, look at. There's no ice.
There's no ice. What about ice moves, though?
You have Pelipper, which has Hurricane. Blizzard, yeah, sorry, that's what I meant. You have the Ice Punch with Haunter, but again, you probably won't get to 2.
Yeah, there's not much
there. Has Icy Wind. Dusclops would probably be the best answer to it, since it actually is bulky enough to get to multiple Ice Punches. Metacham has Ice Punch.
Oh, wait a minute.
has Aurora Beam.
When you showed the 2 shields on Executor, did you remember to put the rest of the meta to 2 shields as well?
No, I just put 2 shields for them.
The 2-1.
Because they're not going to need 2 shields. You're not going to throw 2 charge moves. I don't think it will matter.
Yeah, okay. Cool. Fair enough.
614 versus 660. I mean, it's slightly better. But this thing mostly is not throwing charge moves.
Yeah.
Anyways, right? So
what's the stat product? 1660.
Yeah, 1616. It's a little bit attack weighted.
Yeah.
Now Metacham does beat it if it has 2 shields. Okay. So we're just countering down now?
And
apparently?
dragon tailing.
No charge moves are even thrown here.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
Yeah, it would be nice if they threw charge moves just to see what would happen.
Yeah.
Like a sneak here, 1, 2, 3. So you would throw a C bomb. Oh, you're not a C bomb. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you would throw the counter here, or the ice punch here. They would shield, right?
Yep.
Then you would do 1 Dragon Tail and throw the move here. Seed Bomb, they shield. Then you do 1, 2, 3, 4. Throw here. Ice Punch, shield the attack. That's 5.
Mm.
Oops.
Yeah, so Metacham's loving that matchup.
I wouldn't say loving, but sure.
I mean, it's... wins are pretty easy. Like, it's taking 2 shields and still... Taking 2 shields to 1 and still winning. Lugia. Ooh.
You would have to double shield though if
Yeah.
you were the meta champ, if they decide to double shield, because they get to 2 C bombs if they do double shield. So, like if the meta champ also decides to double shield, then they can just counter down and they leave with 32 HP.
Yeah.
So,
Which is enough to do something with it.
Yep. Yeah, it's interesting. That's why I said Metachamp doesn't look bad, but it's definitely going to be tricky to use with a lot of ghosts. But I think it definitely looks like it has play.
Relicanth and Barbaracle, I mean, they're fun.
Not
but,
sold on them.
Yeah, not grass meta. That'd be great
Not
against
sold
your
on them.
Pelipper, but...
Yeah, like Relicanth is kind of like an RPS Pokemon for Pelipper. That's seems like its main role. It does beat Coffin and Pelipper though, so I'm gonna keep in
cool.
mind.
Crazy Kid, hey?
But it does. Pardon?
Crazy Kid just turned up.
Oh, yo, what's up, Crazy Kid? Yeah, interesting. A lot of grass types down low in the rankings here. Hypno is eligible. Gold Denego or whatever. Gold Dengo.
Oh, Goldango.
It just doesn't have a great secondary charge move is its problem.
Yeah.
Shadow Ball, Focus Blast. It does have a nice typing, but
Scyther's recommended moveset contains a legacy move.
So Scyther is ranked 37th.
Yeah.
Fury Cutter, Night Slash, Bug Buzz. It loses the Coffin apparently. Great.
Would it be better than Vespiquen? I doubt it. It's the same typing. It's Glacier.
We can compare them.
I'm interested to know why they included Scyther.
I have no fucking clue. Here, I'll put Shadow Scyther in too, just in case.
So, looks like a Vespiquen can beat Jumpluff. A Scyther can't beat Metacham, interestingly.
Because It's probably not bulky enough.
Yeah.
Vespiquen can survive an ice punch, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Whereas Scyther can't probably really. So Shadow Scyther picks up Medicham though and Mew. Keep that in mind.
Yeah.
But you lose Haunter and Tyrant. Vespiquen beats something like Jump Bluff, Medicham, and Vespiquen, apparently. Okay, it wins the mirror. But you're losing Credilli, Haunter, Sudowoodo, Tyrant, and Victini. Because of the Night Slash helps you against Victini and Haunter, I guess.
The Tyrant's a big one as well.
It's a very close matchup. It is a baiting matchup. Because Bug Buzz does 76% to Tyrant. Jesus. Night Slash only does 31%. So, and a Dragon Tail does 10%. 12 damage. Would you get to 2 Night Slashes here?
So that's saying you do get to a second one, but
if you have a slight energy lead, like if they swap into you, you possibly could get to 3 Night Slashes to KO it, but it's like very tricky.
Yeah.
You can't throw on bad timing at all.
Yeah.
But you would at least guarantee a shield, because like, but the problem is if they shield the Bug Buzz, they can then basically just farm you down, right?
Down from there.
Very interesting. Let's check the 2 shield. Scyther looks pretty good in the 2 shield.
Yeah. 20 and
up
11.
to a 562 battle rating. Loses to Pelipper still, barely. Fire types are obviously quite bad for it. Jump Bluff it loses to.
Beats Jealous?
Ghost types.
With the Night Slash.
Dusclops has Ice Punch, right? Which is the reason.
Yeah, and Drifloon with the
Crustle
RC
has Smackdown, obviously, and it's a bug flying type. So any rock near it is really bad. Same, like obviously you see the matchup with Aggron.
Yeah.
It's interesting, very interesting.
Resisting the Fury Cutters as well.
But the problem is, I think this thing, and the problem with this type of Pokemon is this.
Yeah.
So you're gonna go down shields a lot with this thing, right? Your opponent can win a lot of 0 shield matchups, which means that they don't have to shield to win the matchup, and you do.
Yeah.
Which means that even if they don't win switch, they can take shield advantage out of that matchup.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, I didn't know Scyther had a legacy move either. Because, we use Scyther so much, right?
I use it every day, and I didn't know it was a legacy move.
Yeah.
I've just been bug buzzing everyone.
I don't know if there's too much else specifically about the meta, but let me know if you think of anything. Like, there is Gourgeist as like ghost types. Gyarados we talked about seemed decent enough. Nuzleaf is a weird one. It's the dark type, but requires XLs. You need a hundo at level 50, it says, and it only gets up to 1387. So, not sure how many people are going to be bringing that.
Yeah.
It does have Leaf Blade Foul Play, but it has Feint Attack as the fast move.
Feint Attack's
Razor
not
Leaf. Feint Attack's okay. It's 6 damage per and 6 energy for a 2-turn move. So let's see.
Average.
It's better than Acid.
Let's go.
It's worse than Bullet Punch. Well, for example, counter is 8-7. Oof.
Yeah. I mean, you can't compare it to counter, though.
Fire Fang is 8-5. Frost Breath is 7.5. So Peck, okay. Poison Jab is 7.7. So it's like slightly worse. It's like a nerfed Poison Jab.
Yeah.
Which is not great. But it's not the worst. Especially it seems like it has play in this meta with being a dark type, right? We pretty much talked about everything here.
Yeah,
Spirit Tomb looks really good, in my opinion. Although it doesn't have any coverage moves, so it does get walled technically by Shiftry. But yeah. And Sucker Punch is not amazing, but it's still okay. It's like the old wing attack before they buffed it, right?
Yeah. So it seems like there's a lot of core breaker options around. Like,
yes.
It's still pretty alignment based, but there's a lot of options to bring on your team of 6 that will make your opponent like really try and juggle which Pokemon they're going to bring into each battle.
You need to make sure your team is well rounded.
Yeah.
And you have coverage for things that, just in case, because there's a lot of options here, and if they bring that one Pokemon that ends up being like a core breaker, like, you don't know, maybe your team is like weaker to Scyther than you thought.
Yeah, right.
And you're not practicing against it because nobody is really using it, but then one person's like, you know what? I actually enjoyed this thing.
Yeah.
The good thing is that it's glassy enough that even if it is a bit of a core breaker for you, you could probably deal with it.
Yeah.
And most people will have Pelipper on their teams, specifically for Scyther. But maybe for something else like an Aggron or something like that, it could be a little tricky for you to deal with.
All right.
So
I think we are going to start a raid. We're going to head to BTW PvP.
Oh, awesome. I know those guys.
I know them. I knew them before they were cool. Thanks for joining me. If I do Arcana myself, then I'm going to be actually well prepared for it.
Yes. Do you not know what you're doing yet, or?
I'm just on the bench at the moment for my faction. Oh, okay. Lilybear's doing Arcana. My bad. Never mind. she's gonna run her ultimate spice team. 6 spicy Pokemon.
You're on the bench. The second place OI whatever C.
EIEIO.
Yeah. EIEIO.
Well, actually, for the first 2 weeks, I'll be filling in Master League. Well, no, I think we agreed for the first week I'll be covering Master League, and then the second week they're gonna ask someone else to, because like our guy that we've got in Master League is not the most reliable.
Oh yeah, who's that?
Well, and enjoy the raid.